What's up, guys? Welcome to the Rogue Gentleman Gamer. My name is Josh, and today we are going to be talking about this guy, the Killabee Gaming Chair that we got about 60 days ago. I wanted to give this a little bit of time sitting in this chair before I talk to you too much about it, so I really could comment on everything in the chair. We're going to go a little bit more into the features on the chair now that I've had time, since the manual doesn't cover those very in-depth. I'll go ahead and start talking about some of those. So we'll talk about the massaging lumbar support, the neck pillow, and how that stuff attaches and the things like that that really aren't covered easily by looking at the product or looking at the manual. We'll talk about the features of the chair that I like first, and then the things that I don't like, the things that kind of bother me about the chair or that have left me a little bit unhappy. For you guys who don't know, the chair was priced right around $180 when I bought it. It may be up or down from there. There will be a link in the description below to the Amazon store where I bought it from, so you guys can check out what the current pricing is. And I did buy it direct from Killabee, so it was probably the lowest price that's out there, but it is possible it's gone down from there or come up. This is the big and tall chair, so it does fit me perfectly. I weigh about 250 pounds currently, and I am 6'2", so I kind of come comfortably up. The neck pillow could come out just a little bit farther, because for me to sit up comfortably, I don't really sit against it very well. So the lumbar, or the first thing we'll cover is we'll talk about some of the features. So some of the things that come with this chair are a neck pillow. So you've got that back here, and that is just on a little strap that is adjustable, and you can move it up and down to different places. So I probably could drop it down from there, but that is the easiest position to get it in and out of right now that I've found. It does come with the massaging, and I'm going to get out to show you this, the lumbar pillow here. It is a massaging unit, so it's like a little electric massager, and we'll talk about exactly how it works. So the chair is, it's got a couple multi-functions. You can see there's a mode and an on-off button. The different modes basically just affect how much it vibrates. It doesn't obviously have a lot of surface that it can move around a whole bunch, so it's just kind of the different vibration modes, how heavy the vibration is, and the way it vibrates. So I think there's like a pattern, and I'll kind of talk about it as I sit down in it and let you guys understand that as I'm sitting in it. That is adjustable where you can put it. You can see it's on these stretchy straps, and you can actually move it up and down, so you can get different areas of your back. It goes from nearly all the way to the bottom of the backrest and to nearly all the way up to just below the neck pillow. So it goes all the way up and down to between the two pillows, which is really nice. You can move the massager really anywhere you want and get it comfortably into to give you a nice massage. The pad and the bolster on the bottom is actually pretty nice. The side bolster on the chair is also really nice. So anyway, so going further into the features here, it does go up and down via a side handle, and you can see there it's up. We'd have to sit in it to bring it down. It's got the back adjustment lever right here. It'll bring it all the way to the up position if nobody's sitting in it. And when we sit in it, you can lean back or bring it all the way back up. I usually sit, when I'm playing with it, I usually sit with it pretty close to the top position, and then we can drop ourselves with the other lever. So the spots that you really can get adjustment on this chair are right here. You've got the up and down, and it's not a huge gap. It's probably about 4-inch difference, maybe 5, that you can move the arms up and down. It is enough for me. I like mine up at the top position. Both arms do that, and then in addition, both arms also do this kind of motion here, so you can actually have your elbows cant in or out depending how you like to sit or how your desk is arrayed. Again, both arms do that. And then the last feature I wanted to go into is one that is down in front of you and is a leg rest. And you reach underneath the chair and it pulls out and flips up. And that is your leg rest. And then of course you can just throw your legs up on the leg rest. My problem with the leg rest will be covered in a second. I think the easiest way to talk about the chair and really give it the 60-day kind of feel for you guys is to talk about the chair from the top down and what I like and what I don't like. Just really going in that top-down order instead of a likes and a dislikes. We're just going to go top to bottom and talk about what I like and dislike with the chair. So first thing is the neck pillow. when we turn to look at the neck pillow, I don't feel like for me that the neck pillow makes a lot of difference until I start to lean my head back. And for me, I don't do that a lot. Usually when I'm in this chair, I'm working, I'm sitting in the up high position. But if you look at it, this is when it starts to make a difference, is when I lean back. When I'm sitting up, it doesn't make a huge difference. I do wish there was a little bit of a difference, that it was a bigger pillow and allowed for some more high neck support when I'm sitting straight up, because I just don't feel like I get that. And with how it attaches here, it's just this elastic strap on the back with a little clip in the center that clips it. And I think you can run it through here, but what I found about running it through these center pieces here is I don't feel like it holds securely. So if you do attempt to go lower, I don't feel like it holds quite as secure. It moves around a lot more when you just have it over the back. Now, that does allow you to move it into a position so you do get kind of a high back pillow, but then again you lose the neck pillow. So if you want it as the neck pillow, you have to have it up and over the top. And the way I install it for that is I just clip the two clips together and stretch it around the top, or you can have it for a high back, very low neck support and put it through there. It does move around a lot more if you have it through the what I would call the seatbelt straps on a racing seat. So there is that. I do like the pillow. The material is pretty nice. It's been in use for 60 days. It is pretty clean still. I haven't cleaned this. I haven't done anything with it because I wanted to see what it was like and how the materials wore over 60 days naturally without any type of maintenance or cleaning or anything. And it stayed pretty clean, which is the nice thing. And the elastic has stayed pretty firm. Now, if you are keeping this up here, you are going to stretch this elastic out, and eventually this elastic will wear out. And I don't like that it's not replaceable. There's no easy way to clip a new piece of elastic on, so eventually your pillow is going to wear out, or it's going to start to sag a little bit, because as you stretch it, it loses its stretchiness and starts to be able to move. So that's my thoughts on the neck pillow. We'll go ahead and strap that back on and work our way down into the lean back functionality. So to be able to talk about this, I really do have to kind of get out of the chair and sit down next to it here. The lean back is nice, and you can actually go back quite a bit. And we'll do this first because otherwise it'll sit to the fully upright position. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna just lay back. And this guy actually lets me go back to a level I am wildly uncomfortable with. The chair becomes really, really unbalanced. Using the leg rest in conjunction with it makes this thing crazy long, and honestly it feels super unbalanced. I think you could lay in it, but for me to be able to lay back like that, it is wildly uncomfortable to do so, and I feel like I'm going to tip over. So I usually keep, and the spring on that is actually really strong. It gets it up there real quick, as you saw. And the adjustment lever to do that's just right here. It's firm, but yet easy to maneuver, so I like that. And I feel like it is good back support. And the bolsters here on the chair are pretty nice. So I do like these bolsters. They sit really well, and the chair is very comfortable with those. I don't feel like the chair is too hard or too soft. If you like things really soft, it is definitely not that. It is a medium density. It is much more like sitting in a racing seat. You can actually feel the bars that the seat is made up of and how the seat is formed behind it. There's not a lot of padding material to it. It really is just a frame with some material stretched over it and a little bit of padding here in the center. But on the outside, there is not a lot of padding here in the bolsters. I'm going to bring it down just a little bit, and we're going to send the chair up just a little bit. So we're going to turn it around, and we're going to talk about the back. The massaging pillow does connect the same way that the headrest pillow did. It's just clips. And these clips are a lot harder than that one because I haven't used them as much, but eventually this elastic will wear out and will cause this to not hold its position as well. How long that is, I've yet to see. The wear over 60 days has not been too bad. Now, one of the things we're going to really get into that I do like is the massaging pillow on it. It's not super awesome, but it is definitely a nice feature for this chair. And we'll talk about why I like it and why I don't. So I'm going to go ahead and move it up and so we can talk a little bit more about it here on camera. So we're going to go ahead and bring it up high to one of the higher positions, and we're going to turn it to the side so you guys can see what I'm talking about. So the first thing is you've got two buttons on this thing. You've got an on-off switch and a mode switch. The mode switch allows you to switch between a couple of different modes, which changes the intensity and the vibration pattern of it. I forget how many modes I found on it, but it's not too many. It's kind of nice though. It does definitely relax your back a little bit. The intensity seems pretty good. Again, I've used it a decent amount over the last 60 days, probably at least once a week. I do like it. It isn't the greatest if you have if you bought a Sharper Image style hand wand massager or something like that. I think the functionality is about the same as that, but it definitely isn't a standalone massage chair type where you have the different modes where it can go up and down. This really is just a vibration in different patterns and different intensities. Now, what I don't like about this though is the motor is not battery operated. The cords are not really in an easy to find location and aren't super easy to locate. So the cord actually comes down off the side here, and it's a little proprietary connection similar to a 3.5 millimeter jack, and it plugs into this little cable here that comes out to this. That is a USB end, a standard USB end, and I don't think that that's that great, and it did not come with one of these. I actually had to supply my own power for it. So the cable has got a decent amount of length. It does, however, once you plug it in off to the side of the unit, it does obviously lose some of that, so you really can only get about a little more than an arm's length, maybe an arm's length and a half away from your chair with the power cord. So if you have this next to your gaming PC or have a gaming laptop, it's good. You can plug it straight into any powered USB cable. However, if you do want to use something like this, it doesn't come with one. Realistically, most of us in 2019 do have one of these, the USB power adapter, so you just have to plug it in and stick that into the wall. However, I don't find that it offers enough room to do much with. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to plug it in down here, and I'm just going to power it straight off the wall here for now. So you've got 4 different modes. You've got a low, you've got a high, you've got intermittent high, so it's on, off, it's a pulsing high, and then a switching between high and low, so you get a low vibration, a high vibration, low vibration, high vibration. So I prefer either the high intensity or the high intensity and then off, so the intermittent high intensity. Between those two, I feel like are my 2 favorite settings on it. I do like it. I haven't put a ton of use on it, again, maybe once, twice a week tops since I've gotten the chair 60 days ago. And it does its function and has not yet worn out the motor, so I'm impressed there as far as at least it's that durable. I was expecting for the price not to even last that long, but it has continued to do so, and I will do an update video if it ever breaks or if I ever have any problems with this chair. The cable length though really does kind of kill the utility of it, because I find myself a lot of times when I turn away from my laptop ripping the cable out, but they at least thought of this. And it is a quick disconnect, so the quick disconnect as you turn away will break free without any type of issue. So it is a breakaway connector that you're not going to damage. So there is that. I do also like the adjustability, so you can move it from a higher up the back position down to all the way down to lower back, so you can move it through that entire range. The piston seems good and strong. You have to lift yourself off of it. You can get nice and high or nice and low. It's not super variant between the two. I can get a little bit of angle on my knees, or I can have my knees flat or be a little bit counter angle, so I can have my knees a little bit higher than my butt or even, or my knees lower than my butt. So I really get that full range for me at 6'2", so that's pretty good. The leg rest, however, the leg rest is where the chair really starts to feel cheap. And honestly, I think they could have taken the leg rest off and added in some better functionality. And why I say that is this leg rest is ridiculously cheap. So the leg rest, when you go to use it, is on these tracks down underneath here. And you can hear it as I go to pull it out, how cheap the bearings are. And it's not easy. I have to move it out like this. What I do like, though, is the flip-up design, that it's not just a pull-out. It actually puts it even with the bottom support of the chair, so it's nice. But I do feel like it kind of moves a little bit too easily. And for the weight capacity that this chair is designed for, I feel like these arms should have been more sturdy. And frankly, sitting in it, I feel like I tilt the chair forward. If I lean it back, I still feel like the chair is unbalanced, so I don't feel like this was a good addition. I think they could have put a little bit maybe more into the materials of the chair, offered better arms, something like that, as opposed to the poorly bearing leg rest that isn't very well designed weight-wise. As we get down to the bottom of the chair, the casters are actually on these cheap chairs, usually of pretty questionable quality, as is the piston. I can't really talk about the quality of the piston quite yet, because I have not really put any time on the piston. 60 days is not a lot of time to determine how good these pistons are. Eventually they all will wear out. The hydraulic piston will eventually give away and start to sink. The tilt adjust seems good and strong. This bar seems to go far enough through the point. I feel like the bottom hardware is pretty good. I do feel like it is the pin to set the tilt is of good quality so far. The old chair I had was really poor quality. The plastic seemed decent quality on the tilt handle, and it doesn't really matter if it moves as long as you're not hitting the thing, so it does have a little bit of free play, so you're not always, if you just bump this thing lightly, you're not just going to cause the chair to drop on yourself. Getting down to the bottom, the plastic is pretty good. It's a nice solid thick plastic, so I don't think there's going to be any issues with this. The coloring is really nice, and this is actually where the surprise came for me, is I feel like these casters aren't incredibly cheap casters. They're definitely not high-end casters, they're not the best ones, but they're good enough that this chair will roll over my carpet in my office without having one of the plastic desk chair pads. So I do like that. Okay, and so the final thing we're going to talk about is the quality of the surface materials here. This is after... So this is the surface after 60 days of use. You can see there's some little dust buildup and a little bit of that, but so it's not really repellent of anything, but it definitely doesn't get too dirty. It doesn't show how dirty it is, so that's why I like the dark color. The stitching is still in good shape. The seating surface is still in really good shape. Where my legs would touch, this is all in really good shape here. So I really do think that overall the chair is in really good condition. The materials are good, at least as far as the 60-day test. I think the materials are good enough to have for the price point of the chair. And the one other thing that I could say too is, instead of the leg rest, they could have done a little bit better padding material in here. The padding material some days feels really hard, or maybe perforated the surface so that it stays a little bit cooler. So that's one of my complaints. It does get a little bit warm without the air conditioning on. Sitting on this type of surface all the time, it is a little bit warm, but it does not, it isn't a major detractor. So at $180, I think the chair is pretty decent. I think the quality lives up to that price of $180. I don't think it is wildly above that. I don't think it's wildly below. I think, to me, the biggest detractor of the chair is the leg rest. I think it's the cheapest component of the chair. The bearings that move it in and out feel just trash. I mean, they feel gritty right from the factory. I never tried to put any other graphite or any other type of lubricant in there to see if they would roll better, but I just don't use it, and I just don't think it's a great addition to a gaming chair. I think they could have left that off and either put a better back massager unit in, or had perforated seating surfaces so it stayed a little bit cooler, or even maybe a fan inside, and gone with something like you would see in some cars where it has the heating and cooling elements in the seat, I think that would have been a better cost item, and I would have paid a little bit more for that over the cheap leg rest. I also don't really like the noise it makes, and I think maybe with a little lubrication that might go away, and I can try and check that out, and if I do find that that's something that goes away, I can do a follow-up video on that or any of the other items on the quality spectrum to see if it's really stuff that I like. But overall, everything is really good. The amount of adjustment really allows me to find somewhere that I'm comfortable with. Outside of the arms could have moved in and out away from your body as opposed to just the turns. I think that would have been nicer, and I know there are some chairs that do offer that, and I would recommend if you really like your arms closer to you, that definitely I would go with that. I don't have too much of a problem. I usually just turn it to the inner spot, and then I hold my controller down like this as I set my arms on it. So overall, I think it's a good chair. I do, like I said, have my reservations about a few things, and I think the leg rest is the weakest point of this chair, and including it unfortunately makes the cheap cost, or the inexpensive cost of this chair, really feel cheap, because they did cheap out in one area, as does the squeak and the kind of groans of the mechanical mechanism that hold the chair to the piston. For as many features as this has, I think the price is good. I think at the price there may be some better chairs if you don't want the gaming aesthetic or the racing aesthetic, whatever you want to call that. If you don't want that style, there are some other better options out there if you don't care about any of that. If you do want a gaming chair, I think at the price, this is definitely a good deal. But guys, that is it for this video. So if you did like it, go ahead and click that thumbs up button. Make sure you let me know in the comments below what you liked about the video. And if there's anything you have questions on, or are interested in to know about the chair, or want to suggest future video ideas, or just shoot the shit about any of the gaming topics that we've had in the videos, you can go ahead and drop those in the comment section down below as well. If you aren't already, make sure you subscribe to the channel. That button's up above. Hit that bell to make sure you get notifications every time we drop new content. Also, guys, you can catch me on Twitch 3 to 4 nights a week, depending on the week. I usually am online Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, and every other Wednesday, and you can catch me at twitch.tv/PowerWangZ. I'm the Rogue Gentleman Gamer, guys. I hope you enjoyed this one. Peace out.